I'm Izzy Miller, and 6 years ago, a breakup didn't just end my relationship, it completely tore my entire life apart. In a matter of months, I lost my health, my career, and my home. But what I lost that was more critical than all of those things combined was myself. 6 years later, I am very pleased to say that I have rebuilt it all. I run a business, I'm a homeowner, I'm in a relationship that is built on real trust. But the most important thing I own now is a sense of self that doesn't change when my circumstances do. If I lost my house and my business tomorrow, I would still be okay because I finally know who I am. And the best part is that despite what I used to think, this isn't actually a personality trait that I was born with, definitely wasn't. It's a skill that I had to learn, and that means that you can too. So in this video, I'm going to teach you exactly how to build a sense of self that is unshakable. I'm going to show you how to find the most authentic version of yourself and give you a simple roadmap to follow and return to whenever you feel like you might slightly be getting a little bit lost. So to find yourself, you first have to understand how you got lost in the first place. So if you think of your identity like a house, for it to stand, it needs a foundation. And most of us build our house on 3 pillars. The first one is your mindset, so how you talk to yourself and how you see the world. Number 2 is your authenticity, how well you actually know yourself and who you are. And number 3 is your confidence, how much you trust and believe in yourself. The problem is that most of us build these pillars on top of other people or on top of accomplishments. We feel confident because someone loves us. We feel authentic because we have a specific job. We're happy because the sun's shining. But if those people, those jobs, or the weather goes away, then the pillars crumble and the roof comes crashing down. 6 years ago, I discovered that my partner had been cheating on me for quite literally the entirety of our relationship. And so when that happened, my house didn't shake, it completely collapsed. The first thing that went was my mindset. I became completely obsessed with the betrayal. I replayed the story of what he'd done over and over and over. I became a professional victim, you could say, fixated on everything that had been taken from me, everything I'd lost as a result of his actions. But here's the truth. You cannot heal an internal crisis with external control. And because I felt so out of control mentally at this time, I tried to control my body instead. I started working out for hours every single day of the week, and I was fasting for 18 hours a day. I thought that I was fixing myself or processing my emotions, but I was actually just starving my system of the actual energy that it needed to heal. At the same time, I was dealing with a really toxic boss at work, and because I was in such an emotionally vulnerable state, I didn't have the internal strength to handle that pressure, and she ended up having me fired. It wasn't a fair dismissal, but because I had no emotional reserves left, the stress became too much, and I just didn't have it in me to stand up for myself effectively, so I lost my job. And for a really long time, I told myself that it was my ex who ruined my life, but I was wrong. If your identity is a house and one person leaving causes the whole structure to burn down, then the fire isn't the only problem. It's the way the house was built. My ex's actions were the match, but my lack of a foundation, an internal foundation in myself, was why my entire sense of self burned. And there's a good reason for this. When you lose something big, your brain tries to find a reason. Why? Usually it lands on, it happened because I wasn't enough. There's a reason why your brain does this. We are wired for survival, and your brain hates unknowns. It hates lack of certainty. It likes to be in control, and it's easier to be in control when it knows things. So if your brain blames somebody else, it makes it feel a bit powerless because it can't control anyone else. But if it blames you, it creates a false sense of security. It thinks, if I know what's wrong with me, I can try and fix myself and be better, or at least be prepared when I find out from someone that I'm not enough. And I can make sure that this never happens again, or be more prepared when it does. And this is why the overthinking starts. You start viewing every memory through the lens of, what did I do wrong? And when you do this, you're not just processing a breakup or a dismissal from work anymore. You're stuck in a loop of trying to fix a version of yourself that wasn't even broken to begin with. You've essentially handed over the keys to your happiness to someone who didn't even value you. So, let's start building. Grab a paper and pen and draw a simple stick figure in the center of the page. It doesn't have to look fancy, it doesn't have to look pretty, but around that person, I want you to write your internal sparklers. Fancy name for just saying the things that you love and the things that have absolutely nothing to do with other people. So for me, an example of something that lights me up, that makes me feel good, might be walking through a forest with my headphones in and my favorite songs playing. I love a forest, it makes me feel alive, and listening to your favorite songs is always something that makes you feel good. Might be just having a coffee in my favorite mug, or watching Bridgerton. That's always one of my good ones. It could be for you a specific book or a certain hobby or the way that you feel when you're learning something new. Could be singing or piano. If you're struggling, think about the things that you did as a child before you started to care about what people thought of you. Did you love to paint? Did you like to be outside? Did you, or do you, love to volunteer? When you are able to compile a list of things that make you feel good, regardless of who or what is in your life, they are clues about what you need to add an extra spark. So after that, we're going to add a second layer. Who are you when no one is watching? This is your internal inventory. Again, fancy phrase. So what I'm really saying is write down your character traits. Are you somebody who is curious? Are you someone who is observant? Are you someone who notices the small details? Are you like my partner who makes funny noises and faces even when he's alone? One of mine would definitely be enthusiastic. That from birth until now has always been something consistent with me. Enthusiasm is one of mine. So that's what I would write down. The thing is, most of us define ourselves by our roles. I'm a daughter, a girlfriend, a manager. But when you strip those roles away, the things on this paper are what remain. These are the things that a breakup, a job loss, a toxic boss, a burnt down house cannot take away from you. This is the real you. Hopefully not this. Hopefully you've got more than this blank piece of paper. But this piece of paper that you've written down, or this notes page if you're doing it on your phone, is the proof that no matter how crumbled your life feels, you're still in there. Even if you're a bit buried in the rubble right now. And this is something that once I realised just how important it is to get a handle on myself. You will always be with you. No matter how old you get, no matter how far you run, you can never outrun yourself. So if you're going to spend your entire life with yourself, it is vital that you learn to like yourself. But most people live with a version of themselves that they either actively dislike or simply tolerate. And I mean, I was there. I spent years disliking myself because I was waiting to find a partner, find my person, find a best friend who would make me feel safe, make me feel like I was enough. But for the last 5 years, I started doing something different. I lived in a state of self-respect. And self-respect didn't happen by accident. It happened because I started practicing self-belief and self-trust. And when we unpick that further, self-belief is believing that you are capable of doing something. And even if you don't succeed in doing that thing, you will still be okay. Self-trust is simply keeping the promises you make to yourself. If you tell yourself that you're going to go on a 10-minute walk and you do it, you build trust. And trust leads to self-respect. You become somebody that you respect and you believe in more. If you tell yourself that you are going to speak up for yourself and you do it, you build trust. Doesn't matter what the outcome is, it's the fact that you did what you said you were going to do. And over time, me trusting and believing in myself actually gave me the courage to post videos online, to take risks, and eventually build a business that reached almost 2 million people. I didn't wait to start to feel confident before I started. I realized that confidence doesn't come before action. You can't wait for confidence before you get started on something. You have to take courage first. And courage intrinsically is doing something that feels scary, doing something before you feel ready. But when you trust and believe in yourself first, you don't need the outcome to be perfect. Rather, you've already given yourself a safety net of, I will be okay regardless of what happens. Now, I am all about taking action. And so are you if you've been here with me for a while. So I really want you, if you've been struggling with this and any of what I've just said resonates, I want you to do these 3 things this week to start immediately increasing your self-trust and your self-belief. So number 1, I want you to pick one thing from your internal sparklers list and do it this week, deliberately. Don't do it to post on Instagram, although if that's motivating and helps you do it, then sure. Do it because it makes you feel like you. Go for that walk, even though you don't feel like you want to. I mean, we never feel like going for a run or going for a walk, even though I love walking through forests and I know it's good for me. I never really want to go because it's more effort than staying at home. Number 2, take one small step that you've been avoiding. What is one thing you would do today if you actually trusted yourself to handle the outcome? It doesn't have to be a big step. It could literally be to just reply to someone you've been avoiding replying to. And for that, you just need a small act of courage to do something you've been procrastinating, to do something slightly scary, to post that video that's been sat in your drafts for ages. And number 3, audit your internal dialogue, or just start paying attention to it. Paying attention to how you talk to yourself when you make a mistake. You wouldn't talk to a friend the way that you talk to yourself in your head. We know that. Every coach under the sun has said that. But your internal language is literally the blueprint to your future. So make sure that every brick in this house that is your mind is a house that you actually want to live in. And remember, nothing changes if nothing changes. If you want to feel like yourself again, you have to start acting like yourself again. So choose one small action today and watch how your relationship with yourself gets stronger. And if you like this video, click subscribe for more content around self-empowerment, mindset, how to be your most authentic self unapologetically whilst being a kind human, being someone who acts in alignment with their values, someone who's able to have boundaries, someone who attracts people that are good for them, that challenge them, that have positive impacts in their lives. And I'm so grateful to have you a part of this community, and I'll see you in the next one.